Our journey with using technology was born out of necessity. We live in an extremely rural area, and our agency serves families across 3 counties. We can drive an hour and a half just one way in order to access a family. And we know at times that we have limited resources. So if we can take those limited resources and use them as efficiently and effectively across those 3 counties as possible, at the end of the day we can serve families better. Initially, our teams only had service coordinators and developmental specialists. So we worked with other teams throughout the state who had complete teams, and we borrowed upon their expertise to bring the expertise here to our teams. In the beginning, that was looking at how we could have a weekly team meeting to help support our developmental specialists and our service coordinators. Living in a large geographic area, we knew we wouldn't be able to have weekly team meetings without the use of video conferencing. At these meetings, we were able to coach around families, and we built from there. Another great benefit of using video conferencing for our weekly team meetings is it gives opportunities for families to join the team meetings.
When I first started working with early intervention, I met everyone through a virtual team meeting. My husband and I both work, and we want to be a part of any meetings that are going on around our kids. So joining the virtual team meeting, I could do it from work, so I didn't have to take those days off. I now have a face to everyone on their team, and that makes it a lot better for me.
Sometimes video conferencing can be done and it's not even that big of a deal. It just creates efficiency, and it's a good way for staff members to communicate with one another. It's important to use not only video conferencing, but the use of recorded video. Video gives a rich opportunity for coaching to take place because it gives a greater amount of context. Our developmental specialists record video in the homes and bring those back to the team meetings for the specialists who didn't have the opportunity to go into the homes and meet the families and really see and understand that environment.
What I like about having the video to use for these coaching opportunities is to be able to see the child and their environment, and I think that helps us to offer better advice.
Another way that we use recorded video is for reflective supervision. Obviously, a supervisor can't be at every visit, and we want to offer our employees the best amount of support possible. And so in order to do that, recorded video allows the supervisor a greater amount of context for what has occurred during a visit. It also is great because we don't want to be intrusive for families. We don't want an extra person in the room. And so this allows the supervisor to be part of it without physically being there.
This type of reflective supervision helps you grow as a professional. It helps you stop and kind of dissect what you're doing. And when you stop and kind of look through things, you realize that there are some things you could change to help you grow and become a better professional.
Recorded video is a great tool for reflection for both providers and for families. Video gives families the opportunity to look back and reflect on things that they may have missed in the moment when it happened.
I just noticed that there's so much stuff that I've missed. Like I said before, I was like, she never really plays with me. But on video, I see it and it's crazy.
It doesn't always have to be about the provider taking the video. A lot of times it's so useful for families to record the video and share that back with the provider. It gives the provider the opportunity to see things that are happening in the context of the daily routines that they can't always be there to see. And that offers the provider a window to be able to experience what the family experiences. And the video can be a family's way of sharing with us not only the challenges that are happening during the day, but also the successes. We use video conferencing because sometimes for one reason or another, it's simply not feasible for a provider to be in the family's home. We have to establish relationships with families, and so we need for providers to have the opportunities to first go in, establish rapport, establish relationship with that family. And then once we've established that relationship, then it's so much easier to use virtual technology, and video conferencing can help that happen as a critical tool to efficiently and effectively deliver services. Video conferencing can be a great way for providers to do a quick check-in with a family. We use a primary service provider approach to service delivery. Sometimes the primary service provider and the family need additional support from another team member, and co-visits can often be done virtually. If we only have access to a speech and language pathologist 3 days a week across 3 counties, think of how many more visits we can accomplish if we do that using video conferencing. One of the things that we find with virtual home visits is that the children really enjoy interacting with their provider via the video screen. They don't seem to see it as a barrier as we do sometimes as an adult. They enjoy that and are excited by the opportunity to see their provider on the computer screen. We're never going to say that video conferencing, it's better than face-to-face contact, it just complements it. Families use technology every day. We all do. And so using technology, it's enhancing the quality of services that we provide by garnering the communication tools that we all use in our everyday lives. And so it's not about the technology itself. It's about utilizing every tool we have at our disposal to better support families in new and different ways.